Well, I was just going to do a highlight on the tomatoes, but let's highlight the tomatoes and the whole garden because everything just got lush almost overnight. So up here in front, I have some shallots that I'm trying for the first time, and they have mostly bolted. And I think I'm just going to let them flower because I have nothing else to put in there for right now. I've got some Walla Walla and some reds up here. Have all my peppers in now. These are the Anaheims. And I am just having radishes like crazy because they didn't get the memo that they were succession planted and have all decided to come at once. But wowzers, we have some beauties, don't we? And here we flash back to the day before that, and the day before that. The garlic is very, very happy and forming scapes. I took a few yesterday that were fully curled, and we had them in a little pasta dish. I'll pop in a picture of that. It was very tasty. So chimichurri, scapes, spinach, over pasta with a little pesto and some shaved parm. Yum. This is the little spinach patch, which is just given and given and given. And it is starting now to bolt, so when I'm picking them, I'm just picking the whole stalk. I put some of that in the pasta dish yesterday as well, but we're eating spinach every day right now. This is the Patterson onions. Those are my storage onions, and they are doing marvelously. This is the Mizuna mustard, gone to flower now, and I'll be saving seeds for the Door County Seed Library, and there will be thousands. So next to the Mizuna are my little Marvel peas, and they're finally starting to get the blooms, so the pods will start forming. And it's shaded from that afternoon sun by the Mizuna, so we may really get a good crop this year. Dumb luck. These are my Borlato or Borlati beans, and they're really climbing up now. There's some Ford Hook chard. That's our favorite. That's the one that gets really big. This is a Mr. Tartar's German. It gets a really large, almost a pound tomato on it, and they're great for cooking. This is the Cuban salami. Chris over at the Veggie Plot sent those seeds to me, and this is probably the one I'm the most excited about because he said those tomatoes have flavor. Umami in buckets was how he put it. This is the Dr. White Cheese Yellow. We did this last year. Had the largest tomato that I have ever grown, 2.2 pounds, and most of the tomatoes were about a pound apiece. My brother ate himself silly on those. And let me show you these. These are ping pong balls. We bought these cages new, and we really liked them because they fold down and so forth. So I bought ping pong balls because I tried rubber balls and it didn't work. Put a little X in the bottom with a knife, and they're working well for eye protectors because those were a little bit lethal on the top. Here in the center bed is where we did the crop to help fight the root knot nematodes, and these marigolds are supposed to help with that. And now we've got a butterscotch butternut growing in the center. That's Utah tall celery. Next to it, we have some little gem lettuce and a second round of mustard and arugula, and I see the mustard's already trying to bolt on me. This is an Amish sherbet. Chris also sent me these seeds. Never done this one again. It's a yellow, low-acid tomato. And this is the Lucid Gem. Now, we did do this last year, and we loved it. It was our top pick for flavor in the taste test. That's a Wild Boar Farms developed tomato. This one is the mango apricot, the chocolate cherry, and the pink champagne. This was that trio of tomatoes, cherry tomatoes that I got from Renee's garden. Just couldn't resist it. It sounded so interesting. Those are the Kelsey onions from Allie. Those are supposed to get really big, and they are starting to get large faster than any of the other varieties. This is tango celery and some ruby red onions. I like those because they store the longest for me. This is the Principe Borghese. It is good for sun drying, for dehydrating, and at the end of the season you can just take the whole stalk off, hang it upside down, and harvest off tomatoes for 3 to 6 months fresh. That really intrigues me. Those are basil, and I've got those little teepees around them to keep the birds from pecking at them. This is the Summer of Love. It was looking amazing, but right now it's struggling a little bit. I have to keep an eye on it. And I've got alyssum here and there throughout the garden, and that's to draw in the hoverflies and parasitic wasps. We want those parasitic wasps for sure because we don't want problems with hornworms. And this last one is the Castelluto Genovese. This was the first one to give me tomatoes last year, and still cranking it out in October at the end of the season. Great for making sauces. This is a patch of giant Prague celeriac. In front of that, some garlics. Part of them are going to seed from last year so that I can save the seed. I've got some lemon cilantro that I've never had before, and I'm letting that also go to seed. And more radishes that didn't get the memo and are coming on too fast. That's Marvel of Four Seasons. Lettuce and some, I think those are Ichikura benching onions. I've got some random onions behind that I just tucked in. Don't even know which variety they are, but they'll all eat well. This is the Cherokee Carbon. It's a combination of the Cherokee Purple and the Carbon, and it's supposed to be a much stronger but still very flavorful tomato like the Cherokee Purple is all on its own. Kind of excited for that because the Cherokee Purple always gives me a little bit trouble when I'm growing it. Again, some more random onions and flowers for the pollinators. I've got some herbs back here and some Chioggia, golden beets, and then a trio of different types of beets coming on for a second round in the middle. Those are my Bolero carrots, a couple of small rows, and in front of that are some Badger flame beets. Those are the ones that are so fun when you open them, a big slice in the middle. They have like literally a big flame in the middle. This is arugula that's gone to seed for the seed library, and some lettuce on the other side, and a variety of different flowers for beauty and for the pollinators. This is the Purple Heart Dwarf that Allie sent me. This is part of the Dwarf Tomato Project, and it's supposed to be a delightful flavor. It is a semi-determinate tomato. All the other tomatoes that we've seen thus far are indeterminates. And then just some more flowers, calendula to help me with the aphids, and more radishes. These actually are okay. They're going to come on a little bit later, so yeehaw for you guys. In this bed, I've got herbs, stevia, sage, rosemary, and some lemon thyme. I purchased all of those. The two tomatoes here are the Copper River and then the Santiam Sunrise. The Santiam Sunrise we did last year. It was a gorgeous, larger cherry tomato yellow, really excellent flavor. And this Copper River is new. Seeds came from Allie up in Canada. And the insides are multicolored and kind of metallic looking, and it's supposed to have great flavor, so excited about that. Over top of my ladder mesh hoop, I've got the borlato or borlati beans going each way, and the theory is that they're going to climb up and shade the lettuce, and I'm hoping to be able to grow the lettuce underneath here all season. I struggle with that every year. This bed is my pepper bed, and starting on the far end are 2 Jimmy Nardellos that are already flowering and actually have some little fruit. If you could zoom in there, Al, you can see the fruit. Yeah. And then a Corono de Toro, which is Al's favorite pepper. And then these are the Joe's Long Cayenne, and that's for the longest chili competition over on Jason's channel, Allotment of the Dead. The patchwork came to me by way of Allie up in Canada, and it's been variegated since the onset, so I don't think that's damaged, but I'm going to have to look that one up more and research it. I've got some Hungarian paprika and Alma paprika, and that's to hopefully make paprika, and 3 early jalapenos, so early ripening jalapenos, to make some cowboy candy. So on our large trellis that we've always used for beans, this year we've got 3 kinds going on: Kentucky Wonder, more Borlato, and some Vortex. This tomato is a Determinant Heinz 1350, and that one came to me from Danny, and that's going to be to make some ketchup. He makes delicious ketchup, he says, and so I would like to try that too. I've had some extra Kennebec potatoes, so I'm giving those a go on a raised bed. And then this one is a Manitoba Determinant tomato. And this one is supposed to be good for a more northern climate. It's happier in a little colder weather. On this trellis, I have some Socrates cucumbers, just a mishmash of different onions, some more chard, and this is a Alice's Dream. This comes very highly rated to me from a lot of different people. So I bought this and this plant from a plant vendor, and the Alice's Dream, and then this one is Anna S. Noir, which is supposed to also be a really nice tomato that I've wanted to try for years. There's some shallots on the end. This is the little brassica cage, and we actually harvested this Chimidarapa and used that with the garlic scape pasta yesterday. It was very delicious, and we should be getting another round in a day or so. I almost let the first one go too long. Got a couple of pixie cabbages and a red acre in there as well. This is my menagerie of pots. Just used whatever we had hanging out and put something together, and it's all flowers except for this one is a couple of blueberries that I lifted from those 2 beds. Now we're off to have a look at the fruit section. This is black satin, and Blackie is just loaded. Ooh, there is a little pollinator visiting that one. Can you get a picture of that? This is just loaded with blooms. Last year we got no production from the black satin on these vines. I got some on the new plant that we had added, but something happened. It didn't kill the plant, but Blackie was just not happy. We did remove the 2 Perpetua blueberries at the front of both of these beds, and that's what we put in the pot over there. Well, there's the 2 Perpetua blueberries removed from next to the blackberries, and Al's going to take this over and slide it into the birdie bed area. be fine for right now, honey, until we figure out where it's gonna go ultimately. On this side of the arch is a Chester. Both of these blackberries are thornless, and Chester just kicked it into high gear last year. And even though black satin was not fruiting as much, Chester just kicked it out. And you can see there's all kinds of blossoms coming, so we'll have a good year on Chester as well. And what we like about it is that black satin comes off first, and then Chester comes off a couple of weeks later. And this is where we get the bulk of our fruit because it's amazing how much they put out. So these are our two cherry trees. This is a North Star, and that's a black Tartarian. There's plenty of cherries on there, but there were more last year. This one's just as loaded as last year. So we're hoping that we'll get at least as much as we did last year, which was 7 quarts of cherries to put up. The gooseberries, they're struggling. They're just struggling, and I don't know what to do. I'm almost ready to lift them and put them somewhere else. These two currants are doing great. This one has no fruit on it though, but this one sure does, and it's got it on in buckets compared to what I actually thought was on there. So we're going to really get a good taste of those currants. This is a little fruit cage, and we have strawberries, blueberries in the middle, and then 2 brand new haskaps or honeyberries at the end. We cleared out a lot of strawberries from this bed, and it's paying us back in buckets, actually. I didn't know if it was a smart decision or not, but we had our first little harvest yesterday, and we can already see that there's some additional strawberries to pick. I struggle with my blueberry harvests, and I've killed the 3 potted blueberries that I put in the garage, so oh well, win some, lose some. My buckets of potatoes are doing great, including the Clancy's that are from seed, and the mystery one, which is Sir Speedy, that came to me from Steve for the single seed potato challenge in England. I think I may just bust out and try the whole cutting thing like everybody else is doing, just for the learning experience. In these buckets, I've got the rhubarb that we lifted and moved, and the mint that I lifted and moved, and chives that I lifted and moved, and lemon balm. And they're all doing marvelously, considering they've been disturbed. So this is the new greenstalk, and those tumbler tomatoes are really coming into their own now, considering they got planted out when it was quite cool still at night. I've put in 3 bush cucumbers in the top with some flowers in between. The strawberries that we put on, which are white strawberries, they are putting on flowers now, so we should have some of that. Under that are the herbs, and then some more flowers. Behind that, I've got a couple of different kinds of mint in buckets, and that's really the end of the edibles. There's not too much really going on in my pots over here, but there will be some lettuce and radicchio. This is a combination of garlic and regular chives. Thyme that's struggling. This is Tokyo long bunching onion. Some parsley. This is hopefully for the black swallowtail butterflies. And dill. So if my cucumbers come on like they should, I'll have plenty of dill. And then lastly, a whole bucket of the Karudashin carrots that we love so much. Well, that's the garden in June. I hope you enjoyed it. Ooh, and there comes the rain. So it's a wrap. We'll see you next time. Remember, sometimes the only thing we harvest is knowledge, and that's okay. Bye for now. We'll see you on the next one.